Hey guys, a new one on my do-it-yourself series, and this is on cleaning and lubing your chain, which is something I make sure I do every 500 miles. Unless I'm on a trip or something, something like that. I've done a couple long trips to the Parkway where it's, ridden 1,000 miles or whatever, and I haven't done it. And it's probably okay. I think when it's continuous riding like that, where you just ride, and your interval goes a little longer, I don't know. I don't have any reason to back this up, but I believe it's not as bad to go a little over the interval. But when you're running, stopping, putting the bike away, getting it back out, letting it sit for a day or two at a time, riding 50 miles. I think time is a factor in that 500-mile interval is what I'm getting at. In any case, first thing I always do when I'm ready to clean and lube the chain is take the bike out for a nice ride and warm the chain up. So that's what I'm going to do now. And after I've taken a nice little 10-minute ride, I'll come back and we'll pick it up. Back from the ride. So while the chain's still warm, first thing you want to do is go ahead and get your bike up in your paddle stand. And so there you go. She's up. Nice level spot. Good area to work in. So what you want to do next is get you your materials. For this project, any old rag will do. And I keep these here for just this purpose. So, board, so I don't drip things in my driveway. Milk crate, so I can be comfortable. And a rag that I don't really want to use for anything else other than this. So the first thing you want to do is clean the chain. And to do that, I like to use plain old-fashioned kerosene, if I can, just for this. I keep around. And I probably filled up that gallon, I don't know, 4 months ago. And I do this a lot, and I haven't used the gallon yet. So I would say a couple gallons probably gets you, or a gallon will probably get you 10,000 miles of riding. So what you want to do here is basically just take the chain and work it front to back. Make sure you're getting a good wrap around it. And just get all the junk off of it. That's important. Make it look nice and shiny. Okay, you can see before, after. Hopefully the camera's doing that justice. So you're going to just work this around. And as you can see, I'm not pulling a lot off of this because if you do this every 500 miles, there's not a lot to pull off. Now, here's a red flag. You can see where I've gotten some kerosene on my tire there by not paying attention and talking. Not the end of the world. You don't want to do that a whole lot. But the nice thing about kerosene is it will evaporate. I don't know how good it is on rubber products, so you probably don't want to make a habit of that. I don't know that it's bad, but I don't know that it's good either. So when I don't know something's good, I try not to do it. But anyway, that's what you're going for. You want to make it look nice and shiny, get all the gunk off of it. And like I said, if you've got a warm chain and you do it at a regular interval, it doesn't take long to get it all off, and you'll end up with a rag that looks something like that. And you know, you don't need it to look like you're silver at the dinner table, but I don't know. I like my chain to look nice. So that's a clean chain. Now for the lube. Okay. So phase 1 cleaning complete. Now phase 2, the lubing. So for me, I always use Bel-Ray Super Clean. I like it because it's sort of a waxy lube that sticks and it doesn't drip and fling all over your bike. So I think it's a brilliant chain lube. I've had good luck with it, and anyway, so here we go. And this is essentially all you're doing is trying to get it in there, a good solid coat. Remember, what you're actually trying to lubricate is the O-rings, and what I'm doing here is probably overkill. That's okay. I'd rather put a little too much on than a little too little. I can live with that. I just, to me, chain and sprocket is pretty much, well, that's all you got in pushing you. And I'm hard on my chain and sprocket because I've been known to do a wheelie or two. So since I know I'm going to make them work hard, I try to take pretty good care of them. So you can see now the whole thing's got, and that's another thing I like about the Bel-Ray, there's no question when you've gotten it all the way through. When I'm done, what I like to do is take the clean portion of the rag that's still got some of that kerosene on it and just gently wipe the outside of it so it doesn't look ghost white. And you'll end up with something like that. And I, rub the bottom of it a little bit too while I'm doing that, just so, even though it doesn't fling, I don't want globs of excess chain lube on there. If you want to get really fancy and make your chain really gleam, there would be no harm that I can think of, because I think you've already gotten it in there at this point. And go ahead and get the kerosene on there pretty good, and give the outside a good wipe. If you want to look like, like it's ready to go for a show. Which I'm going to go ahead and do this time. And I wouldn't go too crazy with it because I like to see some of the white still around where that link comes through. But at least you can get a shine on the lion's share of the outside of your chain. And take it from looking like sort of a white, messy chain to a bright, shiny chain. While you're doing this, every second or third time, I'll go ahead and get in the sprocket good. Now be careful while you're doing this. Don't allow you to put your finger up in here as you're turning the wheel. In fact, probably the safer way to do it is to turn it away from the area that you're cleaning. And I just try to get some of this accumulated gunk off the sprocket. And you're never going to, well, you could. I mean, you can get it to look gleaming perfect if you really want to work at it. I'm not that worried about that. I just don't want it to accumulate and gum up things and get back into the chain and cause problems for the chain performance-wise. This really isn't a show bike for me. But I'll say this, while you're doing this, I always do this. I take a look at my sprocket while I'm doing this, and hopefully you can see that in there. What you want to see is a nice flat top on top of that sprocket tooth in each case. Once it becomes pointy and sharp, and maybe even pointed like a wave, time to change your sprocket out. That sprocket looks like it's in really nice shape. I checked the tension on it before I got started, so I know now that this bike is ready to ride. So anyway, hope this helps you. That's how you clean and lube a chain on an FZ-07. Have a great day, guys. See you around.